Wow, hello, Facebook world. Welcome to our relationship talk.
Good evening to everyone.
It is Olivier.
And here is Catalin.
So, if you watch this Facebook Live right now, please comment where you are watching from and say hello to us and share a lot of hearts and likes to us. Please, if you watch this Facebook Live replay, use hashtag replay when you comment it. It helps to us to recognize you and answer for your questions or comment or come back to you if you have a more complex question. But what we promise, we are coming back to you. So today is a great session.
Yeah, it's
Great topic.
How to express your desire and especially your sexual desire in your relation. And why it's so important for me to talk about this, it's because desire, we can translate it also in French like envie, which means literally in life. It means it's really connected to your vitality, to your joy, to what's move you in life and what is calling you. In fact, if you really listen to yourself, what is calling you? What do you want really to do for yourself? And so indeed expressing so how you want to express it, touch is in connection with a lot of parameters, I would say. It could be the words, the intonation, the moment in the life, the moment in the process of expressing or connecting to your desires.
Your life situation, use like your status, you single or in relationship. So there are many parameters of that.
And how you share it is also related to your state, your inner state, and how you feel in that moment, if you're tired, fully energized, annoyed, or whatever. So indeed, how is really broad, and that's why it's really important to talk about it, really, and it's really, really, really important. First advice, of course, there is no solution, one fit all. It's not possible for sure. So we'll share some advice and feel free to share your own advice also and say what is working, what is not working, and because it's really, really important, I think, that we share to each other our intelligence, our experience, so that we start to build better relation,
learning from each other.
Learning from each other. So you can ask your friends, and especially when you are not to put others in discomfort, of course, but softly you can ask also if they can help you to understand how you talk about sexual desire together, because sometimes it's not so easy, but having example helps you to progress. So
even you can use this Facebook Live to share it and say that, wow, it brought up many options or new ideas to you, and you share with your partner. And hey, honey, I would like to talk to you about something.
And for me, the relationship is a place of generosity with yourself, with your partner, but also with others. That's really important because I'm an engineer originally, and it's obvious for everyone that when we talk about technical aspect and we build a house or whatever, we share from generation to generation a lot of advice to know between architects and so on how we do it. And for relation, usually it's become a taboo or it's not shown, it's remain private, and so you cannot really progress rapidly.
You are saying with sexuality it does not work, passing to generation.
Yeah. but you can question your friends and just enjoy the moment with them. So
how can we start? Obviously you can share maybe how you are struggling right now, so it would be a great opportunity for us to discuss. But let's choose an example. Example always helps.
So my first big example is many years ago. I was not used really to talk about my desires, and I knew it was anticipate that it could be a tricky question for my partner, and indeed I took time to talk about it, and even it took time for myself to be in contact with it. and I share it, but more from a, a place of lack than really a place for playing together, especially because the partner say no. In fact, indeed, when you share a desires, if the partner is saying yes, that's easy. But if the partner is saying no, what do? It's really triggering you. It means a lot. It could be, oh, you don't care about me, you don't want to listen to me, you don't value my opinion, or don't want to share that experience with me, or you're not interesting to buy the moment. So indeed, receiving a no is really confronting when you are not used to it. It's so challenging. While in fact, indeed, you cannot work on the other person. So what you can do is first to change your habits and say, okay, when those others share with you a desire, and you can invite him or her to share sexual desires, say yes, be curious, say yes about, okay, thank you for sharing with me, and tell me more about it. Tell me more, just say yes. Start with yourself as an example in life, because you cannot change the other. So at least you become familiar with yourself to show it.
Yes, indeed. So there are two elements or two parts of the sharing. One of them who's expressing and one of them who's receiving. And the first and the most important tip, if your partner took the courage and shared a desire, at least encourage and saying thank you for sharing. Even if you feel it's absolutely out of your comfort zone, it absolutely scares you, it's absolutely out of all of the values. The first thing, it's like, thank you for sharing. Could you tell me more about it? It encourage the open space for at least the communication.
And the second advice is make it be used to talk about your sexual desire. So maybe you can create a kind of ritual. You define the moment, a regular moment in your life, maybe every week, every month, or whatever. But you create a moment and a space to talk about it. It might be, like very precious moment, or it could be very simple, but at least a ritual that it's coming. It's becoming a habit to talk about stuff, and you can decide how challenging it could be for both of you, but start to make it as normal as sleeping or eating or whatever. Share it, because it's so intimate and it creates so much beauty in the relation when you start to learn about it.
So if we go a bit general in this case, for a better understanding, first of all, open up yourself for yourself. In the past videos, we mentioned that journaling. It's a really, really good exercise to collect your ideas, collect your daily desires. Because not every desire is coming into the reality. Maybe it's just you have seen a video on the YouTube and you say, okay, I want to try shibari, the art of roping, like being roped and being tied up. Sorry, and then you have an experience, and even it's not coming to the experience because you are saying it looks nice on the video, but I'm not into it. Or you have just 1 or 2 sessions of learning it and you move on. So not every desire is coming into the reality. That's my advice to you. And the journaling helps you. So when you journal and you can see one of them is coming back over and over again, but maybe you have a gap or discomfort to accept it. Do I really desire that? And let's start from the general desire. Maybe it's a bit not related to sexuality. The best example, a few years ago, I had a desire to cut my hair. I never ever had short hair. And I collected information and feedback from others who had a shorter hair. So this could be the first step or the first advice. Collect some feedback from others who already done it. What are their experience and how did they go through it,
Mm.
and find out what could be the disadvantage for you. And this is basically just a general advice. What are the disadvantage? So I came to the conclusion, yes, with short hair is definitely, it requires maybe a bit of maintenance on a daily basis. But after that, I said, okay, yes, I want it. And I just did it.
Yeah.
On
And
it. Immediately.
And how you share your desires also about when in the process. For instance, you told me indeed you are so different, that when you have a desire, you start to process it a lot and think about a lot of scenarios. I'm not of that kind of way of thinking, but really you told me, okay, if I want to share that desires, or let's say a threesome or whatever, you have a lot of conflicting ideas inside you, pro and cons, and then you stay with it, and you at the end you still not know what I'm thinking about it and what we can do together with it.
Here comes the difference between women and men. Because after the conversation, I discovered probably it's more women-related topic, or more women-related side effect. We had a lot of thinking and overthinking about the desires. Why? Because we want to avoid negative aspects, negative like disadvantage of, and even don't like hard to express any desires because I'm afraid of negative consequences, because I just say it, I just express it. And
you think about me, you think instead of me, you say, okay, if I say that, he will maybe answer this or react that way.
That's the next one.
And so
because I shared it's the thinking there in the head. It's happening between myself. It's basically the pros and cons. Just to talk to each other is like, let's do it because it's so much joy, and you can gain a decent XYZ experience. And also I have a conversation with, let's say, a sexual desire. Women has a conversation with the partner already in their head. What the partner could say, how can I justify my points, and why is it so important? So if you are journaling your desires, one attitude or habit needs to be in alignment. This is accepting and own the desires unapologetically. That means you are not justifying anymore. Why is it so important for you? Why do you want it? You just accept as it is. You want it. You desire it.
So you process a lot. And personally, what I love is when the partner is spontaneous. So when you have a desire, okay, tell me right here, right now. Don't wait in the moment. It could be outside, in the family, in a party, in the street, or whatever. Express it directly. For me, it's so joyful that you don't over process it, and just do it. But some people prefer to control, have more control.
It's not just about the control. It's about probably the size of the desire. If you want to try a few new sexual desire, it's a big step, especially for women, because we have more needs of security and certainty in life. I'm talking about generalization. Of course, there are some extreme examples and pros and cons when a man needs that certainty. Right here, right now, accept step by step. So first of all, you can measure yourself. What you said, I love it, and in few things, it's easy to say that I desire this, or we walk on the street and I just say, it's like, let's just pop into the bakery. I desire a sweet.
But it could be also that way for sexual desire. You can also with very small desire in sexuality, is not big stuff. Usually, don't think that most people don't connect their own desire in sexuality, and because they believe it should be a big stuff or a very special one or very important. No, it's just tiny details in the day that make the difference. And so it just sometimes people think, oh, I don't have phantasm, for instance. Yeah, of course, maybe that's the case for many people here and there. Or some people are more about the mind processing and other about the body sensation. So okay, you don't have phantasm, but it does not mean you don't have desires. It's something. It could be so different. And
Here, I
for
have
instance,
a
an advice for the men, for instance. For me, when it's really important for me, I say to my partner, okay, sometimes I have very important stuff to say to you, and I want to take the moment. And maybe now it's the case. I feel it's important for me to share it, so at least the partner knows it. Just to mention it, for me, it's important, and it's not always the case. But this time, the partners knows. Oh, what I will touch is important for you. Another advice is especially for men, but it's also valid for women and any kind of gender, because in fact we are all human. But you need to be present and have the attention of the other. So an advice is like you can take the hand or just touch the shoulder and say, okay, then you check if the person is with you. But it works pretty well with the men that are in action or moving, or not always just sitting to talk, and they will prefer activities, and you can touch them and say, wow, it could be the face, it could be, and then look at the eyes and say, okay, just touch and wait. Say, okay, I have something to tell you. That's an easy manner to come in contact and express it. Some people like, for instance, I took an example. You can take a ball in your house, somewhere in the bedroom, in the salon, whatever, and you can put anything you want inside, and it's a kind of communication with your partner. And you can say, okay, I will put, this is an andro switch, masculine contraceptive. If you want some information, I can share with you. Or I can put it inside, and the partners knows, and the partners see it. It means we want to have a unique moment together to talk about something important. It could be multiple, up, it's my message. Okay, I have several messages to talk to you, but you can decide,
like on your phone.
Yeah, or you can, yeah, but it's like it's nice that it's physical and it's pragmatic. You can write on papers also and write some sentence and say, if you want to know more, just contact me, and you can put more and more and more.
Please
and
leave a message.
Yeah, or even more funny, it could be like this. You could put a tiny clitoris, and you can put it on the side of an object and say, when that signal is there, I want to talk to you. That could be funny, but it could be, it could be a game, just like you send a pictures, a message, you make a surprise. It could be, life is what you are creating with it. It's so simple.
Yes, playfulness is key. It helps you to eliminate any stress or any discomfort. Because when you have a good sensation, like a fun joy, it's much easier. It's flowing, it's coming. And another tip, when you talk, like you create the space, and finally you come to the conversation, maybe talk about yourself as a third person. It can help you to create at the beginning a calmness and remove some emotions which inside you are questioning. And you can tell to your partner, is like, I had to tell you something about her. She was thinking about XYZ, and what could you advise to her to share with the partner? And I'm asking his advice, and he can answer, and we both of us know we are talking about me. It's not not a big rocket science to discover it, but it can help to remove this. And also, it's a sign for that's my tip, guys. Please, if your partner is asking about, what do you think about the XYZ, it's all about her. it's something is going on the women's mind, and they would like to talk about something. Encourage her and start the conversation. When she's asking, answer it simple and in more details. That's important. It's not just yes, no, or I think it's stupid, or please don't close this conversation with the obvious answer. This is my suggest to you. It's sometimes it's not that direct. The behind the question there are more and more information. So when the question is coming, it's a signal to you. It's like, hey, there is something behind it, and she want to talk about it. Offer her the space. How? When the question is coming, what do you think about yesterday, our neighbor's dress? And for you, you may say, as a man, it's like, it was okay. But here comes a tip: is what do you think about? Or did you like the dress? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to talk about the neighbors? Or is there anything else going on? And here, this is the space or the core for a woman. Yes, I can talk about it. So I love the playfulness, the ball of the boys. It's good. It's helping. And
in your advice, indeed, the man can, or the partner can say, okay, what else I have not seen, or what else I have to see, or to understand it, what you want to share to me. And about desires, indeed, some partners might be, it might be difficult with some partners to talk about desires. It took years sometimes to dare to talk about it, and you need to be patient and wait, or don't focus on one solution, but know that you have plenty of desires. If it's not this one, it could be another one, and you can just, but the resilience is really important. And we create also men talks or women talks, or talks between men and women in the Lovell Center, and that's really a nice opportunity for men to share, because sometimes there's so much frustration, because, and it helps together to process and to understand, and feel that there are plenty of solutions, that you are not alone, and that the frustration is also part sometimes of the game, because we are not in a culture of desire, but really I promote and I want, and I know that the new society values are about the vitality and the empowerment, and also own your life. Don't live aside of your life, but take your own decision. What is coming from you? What do you want? What else? Don't talk. Ask your partner. Don't talk with your thought. Don't talk with your culture. Don't talk about your intelligence. Talk about your heart. What do you really want? Are you talking with your very deep desire? Is it really a deep, profound desire, or are you talking with another head? No, you can ask, and ask honesty with it. It's so important. Make an habit to talk about. I repeat it because it's so important. Make the desire the center of your life, and start from that, and say, okay, live it. It's a gift for yourself and a gift for your partners, and find a way to talk about it. If you don't know, you can always ask advice to your friends, or to a coach, or to, I don't know, to someone, to a professional. It's really important, and there are plenty of solutions. It depends on you, because the partner, let's say I told you I would love tomorrow or tonight to spend time just to watch your pussy, your genitals. And would they say yes or no? Let's say it's yes. Okay, it's easy. We can further develop it. But if you say no, okay, what do I do with it? Okay, well, it's a pity. I would really love to receive a yes and be welcome in my desire, because it's meaningful for me. It will really help me to have a nice moment and beautiful, harmonious moment together. But okay, it's a no. So, but what else do you want to do if that could be similar to that? Would it be something different that you would accept today? That's fit with your energy today.
yes, it's a really good technique helping for your partner, especially women to encourage other options, or saying about the details. If it's not today, do you think is there any other day when it's joyful for you, or you could enjoy as much as I can enjoy? And also you can tease me about it, and saying that if I'm in the, let's say, I'm in the mood, it's like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to think about it. So, you can tease your partner and invite with your energy, invite with your vibration. Is like, okay, I understand you are tired, maybe an extra, I can massage your back, or and start to picture the moment for your partner, and this way you can invite into your desire. So even maybe the partner would not reject that request, but at the same time, today, especially in this moment, maybe I say no for anything because I'm frustrated or something happened with me. It's creating, when your partner say no, you can invite the conversation, saying that is, did you have a bad day, or do you want to talk about something? That's the reason you are not in the mood to have the desire, especially if you do something regularly and your partner say no. Here we need to create some tips and advice on very unusual or new desire. What do you suggest?
If you have start the habit and very simply every day or regularly talk about simple desires that could be especially in sexuality, but also everywhere in other domain of your life, you start to build the confidence, something a ease, a flow. You start to learn how your partner is reacting to some topics, to some domain of sexuality, and just take it as a game and check it. Indeed, when you start a relation, it's maybe sometimes more easy. You can check, and if it's not matching what you want or whatever, you can say, okay, well, maybe there are some I would say some big difference between us that might not be easy to connect, and so you may happily find a partner that is suitable for you or not. But when the relationship is very old and it's a different stakes, you need to demonstrate even more care and attention, especially to grow together, because you have a commitment to grow together, and that's important to nourish first the connection, knowing that every desire could just be an opportunity to reveal and experience something together to get a better intimacy.
Yes, and there is a point also when it's a big stress, when the desire cannot be fulfilled with your partner. Just a simple example: men likes blowjob, and some women absolutely disgust by to do it, and even taste the sperm, or even the thought can discuss some women. So it's a big stress, like a big conflict. It's really, really kind of impossible to create the bridge.
Yeah.
Here comes the creativity, and here is the big question: what do you suggest? How can we?
But if you think that there could be a conflict, you're not talking about the person, but you can ask. Maybe we can perceive that inside you there is a kind of conflict between different elements, between what is you allow yourself to do, or what you think you are supposed to do or not do. And maybe there are some conflict I don't see because it's not visible. You can ask the others, you invite the other to reveal some inner conflict. When you start to talk about something, you can say, okay, it could be generic, but for me, I can have, because I'm engaged in life also to live with my values, I'm in zero waste experience. If an experience not matching that, I say, okay, I would love this, but it's not in coherence with my zero waste habits, and I would love to match both. Do you think there is something? Because maybe I can find a way to match your desire, but not that manner, because it's in conflict with something which is not negotiable. But maybe there's something different, or you can learn about it. You can reveal and say, okay, let's say you cannot accept a blowjob, but what is in conflict inside you about doing it and not doing it? What it means for you? Because it's in this, if someone come with it,
Yes.
it means
This
it's
is-
associated with
Yes.
pleasure, desire, phantasm.
This is one of the best question is, what does it mean to you? Of course, it's like blowjob. It's a kind of very obvious,
Yeah,
but
it could be submission. For some people, it's not acceptable because it means it's submission, or it's dirty, or it's not aligned with a kind of, I would say, self-respect or whatever, because it's associated. So you can ask the meaning and also what it could be in conflict. So you can navigate maybe to a different solution.
but there is a point when maybe there is no more bridge, though you cannot move further with your desire, and you fear you started, like you tried in many ways to express it, you to have it with your partner, and still no, still rejection, still it doesn't come to alignment, or it doesn't come to the reality. What can we do then?
Yeah, you can express how important is it for you, because if you feel there is a kind of conflict and you say, okay, I tried several ways, I also mentioned several topics or desires, and month after month it's still a no, and I really feel I have no more creativity. Maybe I am at the end of my main desire. I feel I start to lose my vitality, or I start to be depressive or frustrated or annoyed because I don't find any other solution. And then I can say, okay, I have no other solution. I'm sorry. It's out of my capabilities or creativity, but I share this, and this, and I face several no. I'm pissed off. I don't know what to do. Have you other ideas? And then the partner can react. You don't know, but you can say, okay, I tried this, and this. And you have some clarity about yourself. You can say, what did I already share or try? I am just blocked of have fixed ideas and just keep one idea and don't, I would say, cover a larger spectrum of solution. And then it could be also, you can realize, and okay, oh, I'm conscious now that I'm just focusing on one or two desires. Or okay, I already share several, which is meaningful for me, 5 or 6, and none of them are acceptable. And or you can meet me there or somewhere else, or what are your desires? And it could be okay to not know, because sometimes you share something and the partner say, it's not an important topic for me today, but maybe we can communicate to find, because for some people it's more easy to be in contact with their sexual desire and energy than for others, and say, okay, what do you advise me to do? If we cannot do that, what are your advice for me about this? And then you start.
Okay, let's say your partner say, my advice, forget about it. I do my best. I cannot help you with it.
And do you think that forgetting will make it disappear? So close your eye. Okay, it's dark. Oh no, it's the day. So it's forget it. You can say okay, but most probably it's not a solution that it will work.
Don't think about the blue elephant. Don't think about the blue elephant.
Yeah. Don't think about there is a tree in front of you, but of course it's there. So it's okay. The partner can react that way, but at the end, both of them know that it's not making a progression in the discussion. So you need to
obviously we over exaggerate this situation, definitely.
Because yeah, you know that. Yeah, I'll let you continue. Sorry. I want to yeah continue this.
Yes, so this is one aspect when you already expressed, when you already tried, and you still have the desire. And our suggestion, at that point, you can involve a third party, like maybe you feel or you're afraid of best friends. That's why we are here, the Love Health Center, so you can contact us and ask a session with us to help you to create the bridge, or finding other solution, because who not involved emotionally in the situation, sometimes they can see the obvious solution.
Yeah.
We it's really hard to say right here, right now, what is the solution. But if you share with us your specific situation, we can come with specific solution. That's one tip. The second, my second tip, when it's really coming to the end, where it's no other way, just okay, let's broke up because you are useless to me, you are not fulfilling my desires, and goodbye. Instead of that, it's finding a third party, or inside you, maybe other way you can fulfill this.
Personally, I strongly believe in the generosity of people and the ability now to share intimate subjects and growth together, because we can build a more beautiful society. So I would recommend you to put your comment in the video, text us, send us an email, whatever, and share your advice, because for me, it's together that we can really progress. And there are plenty of intelligence everywhere and experiences, and say, okay, I try this, it's working, or I'm struggling with this, I would love some advice or whatever. But the collective intelligence is very high, the resilience is higher. But today we share a lot of very tiny details that can make the difference. There is no magic one, but sometimes that could be magic advice. So think about the overall the list of advice we share today. There were quite a lot that might be tiny, but you can feel it's very powerful, and it can change the communication with your partners, and maybe be more in contact with a joyful sexual life. Believe in you.
And there is one more aspect. Even when this struggle is happening inside you, even you did not come to the point when you could say a single word about it. And all this conversation, what I mentioned at the beginning, it's more related to women. We have an inner conversation even before we express it, because of the fear, because of the judgment of others, and also past experience, or even, let's say, between us, we had a lot of conversation about sexuality and desires, and some of them were already in discussion. But I expressed in my life, I didn't have previously this very open relationship about sexuality. I would say it was more average, or more mediocre. And I admire our connection, how we open-minded and welcoming new things. But even in this environment, for me, it's a completely new manner, completely new situation. So recently, I just expressed I have a desire, and I expressed how difficult. Still, I can feel so much difficulties to share in details, or because I still have some rejection in my mind. I still have a lot of question mark. How can I do it? Or when I will be in the situation, when I receive leave my desire, what if it's not what I wanted? What if it's you change your mind, and what if it's not acceptable anymore? So still a lot of details question. What do you suggest to me?
Can you summarize the question, please?
The question, we were talking about desires. We encouraged each other less. Yeah, yes, I open, and wherever you share your desire, I'm here. We created some form of boundaries, but I still have difficulties to share it because I didn't have any previous experience or didn't have any previous event in my life when I could live, I could express freely.
Yeah. And indeed, it's so obvious that in many domain of life, professional, family, whatever, it's not so easy to find very inspiring communication between people as when they talk about desire and intimate questions. So you can just go step by step, trust about what has already been shared, and what is the next step for you. What is the next little step towards that direction? Maybe not the big desire, but in that direction, what tiny details you can share more about it and still feel confident.
That's a really good advice. Thank you.
And another advice is also think about that sexuality is really not different than any other part of your life. It's really important to understand that you are in your sexual life also like you are in other domain. And so if in the other domain, in the, I would say, domestic or daily life, in professional life, in leisure time, in resting time, or just or eating or cooking time, be yourself. You are the same person. And so if you can demonstrate there a lot of receptivity, of easiness of communication, or be staying present in intense moment, even if it's not comfortable, or just be staying curious every single time. I don't know if in English it's known, but les accords Toltec, it's a book in French, but it's don't take it personally. There are several advice about that book, sharing that book, and don't. One
Maybe
of
we
them,
can we can
one
we
of
can
them
add in the comment.
is don't take it personally. And so I go further and say, okay, don't. It's not taking it personally. Don't put the energy on your side and feel judged or whatever. But okay, put your attention and be curious about others. Check what else I want to understand, the people want to express, or maybe in more details. And so think about where you put your energy and say, okay, tell me more, and be curious in any domain. And then progressively you will feel also the differences in your sexual life. There's nothing to force, nothing to push, nothing to urge. You do not help a plant to grow by pulling on it. The plant needs the proper ingredient and ambience, water, the sun, the light, and so on. So, and the warmth and the temperature. So just give the proper ingredient. And in sexuality, it works that way. You cannot force anything, and it's just a natural consequence of other domain of your life. So think about every single details you can change in your life to make you more peaceful with yourself and with others, and then you will see rapidly effect in your sexual life, and what you thought would be difficult to share start to become very easy. But you cannot only play on yourself, not on others. Don't expect others to change because you are changing. Just increase your ability to make those tiny details, those tiny change in your daily life.
I love your noticing, as our sexual life is nothing different than any other life. So once you learn to express your desire on other areas of the life, you gain confidence, and you can implement these success into the sexual interaction. This is one tip. One more tip. It's a creative tip. If you cannot express, because you still feel it's for me it's impossible to tell you. You can write it down. So you can write it down on a piece of paper and give it to your partner. And on the top of it, you can say it's I want to talk about this, but I feel so much difficulties to express it with words. Please help me to discuss this topic. And I truly believe your partner would not say no, because you only say, I just want to talk about it. This is the first step in expression.
And I hope your partner will accept indeed.
And in worst case scenario, you can share this video and you can say, it's like, hey honey, I found it's really, really interesting video. Maybe it's a bit long, but only the last 2 minutes are important because I want to tell you something.
What you can do also is don't focus on yourself, don't focus on your desire or relation or what you have, what you don't have, but just be curious and focus your energy on someone else and say, okay, maybe you admire someone in life, a man, a woman, or whatever, and you say, okay, I feel that person a lot of confidence, or in his or her life there is something fun or easy to express and so on, and you can ask, oh, I really admire the way you do this and this and this, or express yourself. And I'm just curious, may I ask you a question about your sexual life? Is it also easy for you to express your desire in your sexual life? And maybe it's a yes, and you will learn something about how that person is doing. Or maybe it's a no, and say, oh no, in fact, I'm struggling there or there because of this or this environment or a situation with myself or the partner. I still having some difficulties, but just be curious. Ask your friends, ask your the people around you, or even people you just met or whatever, and just open your mind about the reality of others. You will start to learn a lot of stuff, and have at least and have a kind of distance with your own situation, but also at the same time, it's paradoxal. You will be closer to your own situation, because you will see it from outside and feeling from inside and say, okay, I'm not alone, or I can make that progress, or I'm more in self-love with myself about my desire, and we can
And you can
help each other.
come to our activity. We have a monthly circle when anonymously you can share and ask help. Also, life is too short to not live it. When you procrastinate or you think about rejection, ask yourself about this specific desire. What would happen after 10 years if, first of all, if I'm staying at the same space? Would I blame myself, or would I regret it? Or ask yourself, is like, how would I look back after 10 years if I make it happen? And it will help you to just create a movement and think about the first step. That's first tiny action, what you can do about it, what is doable right here, right now. Because when you start the first action, it creates a movement, create the direction towards that desire. And sometimes in life, you have one desire, you start the process with one action, you just search a video, or you send an email to the Love Health Center, hey, I'm really interested about this, please help me. You receive another information, and it's linked and direct to you to something else which is even more desirable, or has more meaning in your life. And that's the beauty in a life. This information web is available, and dive into it, live it, use it, and enjoy it. That's the most important.
When you talk about this little step, you can also slow down. it's a call to slow down and say, okay, what is really calling me inside? What part of me is willing to be touched and connected? And what that desire is talking to me? What is calling me? And maybe through a solution behind it, there is a need which is important about loving my body, being touched, being loved, or whatever. But there is a more profound desires, and say, okay, let's recognize what it is, what is behind, and then let the intelligence of the life, because your mind will process it. You feed your brain with something. It's like when you will have a baby, you see pregnant women everywhere, or you see, family everywhere, while in usual time you don't think about it. So the brain works that way. Just touch what is essential for you, and then progressively you will see in the next days and weeks a lot of different solutions or inspiration, and you start to grow in that direction. So I hope today you got an inspiring.
We believe we shared many little tips and suggestions what you can do about your expression, and how you can create movement in your life and live joyfully and fulfilled the days.
It's an endless topics, because the more we talk about it, the more advice we have. Like, how you express it. It could be with the body, it could be with the language, it could be with the voice and the intonation, the tone of your voice. And indeed, if you like your voice, you can even select the frequency or the manner you want to talk about it. Just, okay, what are the words and the intonation I love to put, which is important to communicate my desire, in which state and energy I want to share it, at least for myself, and say, I will be glad if I can do it that way, because it's in coherence with my desire. And just think the way you talk, and maybe that's just the only solution for you. Maybe you love the sound, and it's the sound is music in your ear, and it could be a music in the ear of your partner. Even some language you don't understand what is it, but the music, the melody is beautiful. And if your desire, what if your desire is expressed in a very beautiful melody with your own voice?
Thank you for being here, and open up your conversation towards us. Send your message, reach out us, and we are coming back very, very soon. It was a joy to talk to you, and I'm looking forward to our next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye.